With raids and pirating a constant thorn in the Federation's side, Starfleet Command would set about creating a starship class to combat this threat, and as a result, the Ark Royal Class would be born. But what do we know about this impressive carrier starship design? Well, today we'll find out. Hello and welcome to another episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon, a Star Trek web series that dives into the history of any given topic using beta canon sources and my own imagination to fill in the gaps. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the Ark Royal Class as first seen in the year 2000 Star Trek video game Starfleet Command 2: Empires at War to better understand its place in Star Trek history. Please note, the Ark Royal Class is another amazing design that has been brought back to life by the good people over at Star Trek Online. So if you want to really check out this amazing starship design, head on over and try it out. But as always, because this is just a beta canon video, all information relayed should pretty much be taken with a grain of stardust and only considered a little bit of Star Trek fun. And so, with all that out of the way, let's begin. History records that the 2270s were a time of relative peace for the United Federation of Planets. But to anyone who lived during that time, the truth was far more complex. Though the main enemies of the Federation, the Klingon and Romulan empires, were held at bay by such things as the Organian Peace Treaty, or the fear that a similar treaty would be imposed upon them, the Alpha and Beta Quadrants were constantly struggling with the much smaller antagonistic organizations, and they were becoming a problem. The Orion Syndicate, a criminal organization of loosely connected individuals, overseen by the Orions, had stepped up their raiding practices along the borders of the Final Frontier, the areas of space not yet fully explored by the Federation. Meanwhile, though the Treaty of Sirius forbade it, that didn't stop the Kzinti government from sending out several of its own starships on raiding missions of their own, disavowing any knowledge of these rogue vessels the minute any proof of these raids were presented to them. Even the Tholian Assembly and the Gorn Hegemony were popping up more often, causing problems for both Starfleet Command and the citizens of the Federation. The problem for Starfleet Command, however, was that all these other factions were hardly capital ship worthy. Most could easily be defeated by lower tier starship classes within the Federation. Thus, sending capital ships out to patrol the border areas of these hostiles was a complete waste of valuable starship resources. But with the technological breakthroughs of the early 2270s, and the fact that these hostile factions tended to attack their prey in swarms, led Starfleet Command to make the decision to create a brand new class of starship to deal with these wily foes. And in 2276, the Ark Royal Class would be born. Sitting at a length of 416.3 meters, the Ark Royal Class was designed to be operated by 320 officers and crew members, with additional space for 78 specially trained fighter pilots. Containing a modified version of the newly developed vertical warp core, as it was affectionately known, the Ark Royal Class would be slightly slower than starships of the line exploring the Final Frontier. As a result, the Ark Royal Class would have a standard safe cruising speed of warp factor 6.2, with an emergency maximum speed of warp factor 9.7 for 16-hour increments, all old warp scale of course. Tactically, the Ark Royal Class was as well armed as her Constitution-class refit older sister, containing a wide array of dual-emitter phaser banks as well as both forward and aft photon torpedo launching systems. This class could certainly hold her own in a firefight. Shielding for the Ark Royal Class was mostly standard for the time, but could also be easily modified to give the starship more protection from the various forms of weaponry used by all the disparate species that she had been assigned to protect the Federation's assets from. Of course, the Ark Royal Class's true power lied in her carrier capabilities. Containing a large number of shuttle and fighter bays, the Ark Royal Class was fully equipped with the latest auxiliary spacecraft that Starfleet Command had to offer. and to combat the swarm-style fighting carried out by the enemy, the Ark Royal Class was able to extensively create a swarm of its own, while the main vessel itself took on the enemy's main starship. Though classified at the time, the fighter pilot teams aboard the Ark Royal Class would be specially trained for fighter combat in the area of space they were to be assigned to. As a result, these fighter pilot crews were often seen aboard starships as their own entity. Because if their parent starship assignment changed to another area outside their training district, these crews would immediately be transferred off said vessel so as to remain in their specially trained areas. Adopting names such as the Valiant Vagabonds, the Royal Roamers, and of course Nova Squadron, these pilot crews tended to be close-knit, closed families who never really interacted with the regular crew members aboard ship. The launch of the Ark Royal Class was a public spectacle for all the citizens of the Federation to behold. As if in answer to all Federation colony prayers, the USS Ark Royal and her fighter squadrons would perform several death-defying stunts before heading off for her official shakedown cruise. And overall, the Ark Royal Class would perform her duties well, though it should be noted, given the pomp and circumstance surrounding the class's launch, the high expectations that had been put on the class itself never really materialized, with the Ark Royal Class simply being a middle-of-the-road starship design. She would go on to defend the borders of Federation space quite well against the aforementioned minor foes, but if war ever broke out against the Klingon Empire or the Romulan Empire, it quickly became clear to Starfleet Command that the Ark Royal Class could not and would not be leading the carrier charge into battle. The Ark Royal Class would remain in service into the early 24th century, until advancements in starship design and technology would make this design obsolete practically overnight, with the final starship of the class, the USS Kitty Hawk, sent to the Tri-Row shipyards in 2328 for decommissioning. Created as a solution to the raiding problems along the Federation's various borders, the Ark Royal Class would perform its mission profile well, earning this class its trusted place in Starfleet and Federation history. Thank you for watching today's episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon. What do you think of the Ark Royal Class and the historical narrative that I've created here? Do you want to see more videos like this one? Well, leave your comments in the section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, hitting that little bell icon so you won't miss a single video we release. Want to help the channel protect the deepest, darkest recesses of Federation space with amazing squadrons of fighters? Then consider becoming a channel member subscriber or a channel patron. Both a major help that allows this channel to purchase resources and 3D models to keep it going. The link to both memberships is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Live long and prosper.